All right, hello and welcome to On the Team Bus, where we bring you the stories and adventures of the riders of here with Team ODZ. Each episode you'll hear from one of our team members. You'll get a chance to know them and hear their stories on and off the bike. Today we are live here at Team ODZ Camp 2020 and I'm with Fritz Westphal.
Yes.
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, I mean, we are Wednesday? So we're day
Wednesday,
3 here.
yeah.
We'll chat a little bit about that, but let's get to a little bit to know you better. We always start off with kind of where you from. Tell us a little bit about your story and who you are.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm originally from Northern California, Bay
Nice.
Area.
Okay.
Lived up and down the West Coast doing work
Nice.
after college. Live in Minneapolis now.
It's
And,
cold.
yeah, it is cold. I mean, those temperatures we've had a relatively mild winter, but years past when it's 10 degrees or minus, you just miss the West Coast for sure.
Yes, especially coming from the West Coast for sure.
Right, for sure.
Yeah, where in the Northern California did you
So I was
study?
born in Berkeley,
Okay.
Berkeley, California, and we lived in the East Bay, Pleasant Hill for a number of years. And
Beautiful area.
Yeah, and then ended up going to college at Arizona State, actually here.
Wow.
Here in town.
That's right.
Familiar riding ground for sure.
It must be great memories, you coming back and seeing the roads and everything.
Absolutely. Well, when I saw the camp and you guys posting, the different rides you're going to do, I just thought, man, the nostalgia of being able to do all those rides again in a week is the best of the best. We
right?
just picked them right for sure.
That's great. I mean, it's been a great week. So let's talk a bit about like history, specifically what ties us together, indoor cycling specifically. What brought you to indoor cycling?
Yeah, well, I'm a pretty
Minnesota kind of
Minnesota
kind of answers its own question.
That is the answer, right. Yeah, I didn't start riding a bike until college here at Arizona State, and that actually is what got me into cycling. Yeah. So my first big ride was climbing a South Mountain. I had the old steel bike and a camera bag on the front, and my camera. I was going to take pictures, and I was so dog tired at the end of that ride, but it actually got me hooked. I joined up with some groups here locally and started riding, and evolved into more and more. And so being a West Coast person, California, Arizona, I got to be pretty fair weather. So moving back to Minnesota, it's cold and it's wet. And, we started doing a lot of indoor cycling, but before pre-Zwift, if you will. Yeah. And then when Zwift platform came out, I thought, man, this is the bomb. So jumped into that, and it's been. Because
we can call that area like a BZ, like before Zwift. Like,
right.
What did you do? How did you train before Zwift? That's interesting.
Yeah.
So you were doing that. What platform were you using at that time?
There's a lot of perceived exertion work to begin with. But then I got into Training Peaks, and of course there's Trainer Road, all these other different programs. Training Peaks, and there's a guy out of Chicago that sends me his workout programs.
Awesome.
He had he actually Robbie Ventura.
Yes,
Ventura?
I know the name.
Yeah, so I know him well. So he sends me his workouts every week.
Wow.
And I pay him a little fee for that.
That's great.
He does a little bit of kind of pseudo coaching for me, which is great. And so recently I got super excited because I was doing his platform of things and all the intervals and everything's bar graph. And when the Zwift 3D came out, it's like, this is sweet. So then I was like, well, I'll do some of his workouts, I'll do some Zwift stuff. And then recently, within the last year, I just found out through the forum that if you have a workout scheduled in Training Peaks on the day you're doing your Zwift ride, you just have to scroll all the way down it pings it for you. It's like, sweet. So now I can do all my interval workouts that he's got programmed for me.
That's awesome.
And do them in the 3D format with all my buddies.
It's been a great place to bring people together to do workouts. So it sounds like you do workouts with others at the same time, that same workout?
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Some of that too.
Like meetups and things like that?
I haven't done quite the meetups, but sometimes I'll have somebody join me in my pain cave.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So in real life,
in
the virtual screen.
Totally,
yes. Very cool. Very cool. I like that. So then that evolved to, Zwift training and all of that. So do you do any racing? I guess we'll start with Zwift. Do you do any racing on Zwift, or kind of what's your thing?
Yeah. I've done some racing, and it's certainly competitive. Yeah. It certainly makes you work, but the thrill of the challenge, and you see all these other people, and you think, what can I do to get better? So it's everybody takes it as a personal challenge and such.
Push yourself forward.
Yeah.
So how about in real life? I mean, obviously being in Minnesota, the seasons, do you get a chance to get out to do any fondos or anything like that now?
We do. there's a number of groups that'll ride with in Minneapolis when the weather's better. I mean, Minneapolis are diehards in the winter. They'll ride year round. I don't, coming from the West Coast. Sorry, I got like a 40-degree limit. Right?
That's it.
Pushing that here, actually. But so we, I've done some, battled around with a little bit of racing, and I'm not, the greatest rider, but racing's always been fun. Criteriums are amazing, but they're risky, and I'm 56 years old now. And crashing, and I'm not a small guy, so if I hit the ground, I'm gonna hit hard. So shied away from those, but we'll do some road races, some Fondo stuff. But the gravel riding out in Minnesota has just become really, really popular. So
I feel like it's really coming up everywhere,
and it's really cool because it's a whole different vibe, a whole different element of riding. And there's some super competitive and some really fast people too. But you don't ever feel like you're in this really combative race environment when you're actually on like a USCF race discipline, right? So
I feel like that's a lot of the allure to these things. It's it's a fight against yourself as well as packs. Like you may group up with someone in front of you, behind you, and you get together, but it's not this shoulder to shoulder that sort of feel the whole time through. And people can do it for their reason, but still have that element.
Yeah.
And so
that's so true. Because then at the end, if you're whatever group you end up with, you celebrate the win together, which is pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. So I guess stepping a quick back, going back to your indoor setup, what's your setup like? It's probably evolved over the years, but where are you at now? Yeah, no,
I'm in a really sweet place. I have to say, when I first started, moved back to Minnesota, it's like, well, where am I going to do this? And we have a third car garage in the back of our property.
Ideal.
And it was all just, frame studs, and, you see the backside of the siding on the outside, and no electricity, no heat, no whatever. Of course, Minnesota's super dang cold, right?
Yeah.
So a couple of years into it, I'm like, this is not working.
That's pain.
Yeah, really, it was, So, and we started in there, even pre-Zwift, and just riding on a train with some music. I mean, that's kind of a movie, whatever. But now I've insulated it. I've totally electrified the whole thing. I've got heaters in there. I've got surround sound. I've got TV screen, a couple computer monitors, and I ride on the compi trainers. So they're kind of dinosaurs now, but they still work really, really well for me. And you get that, that smart control thing, which is really, really nice. I've got some mood lights in. I've got some spotlights down. So I did 90% of the work on my own. And it's like a little Zen kind of
stuff. We'll have to post usually when we do this on video we'll usually get a photo of the
I'll send you a picture.
We'll love to post it in the comments here, so definitely check that out. So I guess we talked about that. So bikes, like gravel bike, road bike, what have you got? Like what's your stable like?
That's a good question. Much to my wife's chagrin, I have too many bikes, but that's a common theme, I understand. So I think you have probably close to 10 in total.
Wow.
Which is a big number, so don't give away my address. No, but it's, it's nice. I mean, a lot of these have been kind of accumulated, and, there's a little nostalgia and sentimental value in some of these, so it's hard to get rid of them as you go. But most of them are road bikes. I've got a titanium, and you've got the carbon ones, and I've got an old Colnago that I just built up last year, old steel frame, right? And so there's just a mix, like the Alejandro Valverde Pinarello bike, and the yellow red one. It's pretty sweet. It's like, wow, it gets a lot of looks too. So I've got one gravel bike, which is a cross bike actually, but I use it for gravel riding. And I think I'm at a point where I just need to downsize and kind of get into the newer bike with the 28mm tires and the disc brake. And that period is kind of the point where it's like, okay, let's just kind of sell off some of the old and take some pictures and put them in a scrapbook and call it a day and get something that's more current for sure.
That's awesome. So you coming out here, definitely a big trip. You came in on Sunday when we all arrived. Tell me a little bit about your experience as you came into camp, started meeting people. What was the feeling? What was the energy like for you, your experience?
Yeah, really good. I mean, you guys have been great online and with the Facebook page and just even starting writing with the ODZ group on some of the group rides that you guys have. It's always been extremely inviting. So you guys really have a talented team in that regard, I will say. And coming down here, I mean, I had some familiar territory, so it wasn't too daunting, but I honestly, I started to get a little bit afraid as people are talking about TSS scores, power scores. I'm like, holy smokes, I think I might be out of my league a little bit. But it's been really gracious. So and fitting into the place here has been worked out really well.
We do have all ranges here, obviously. Those two, like, we have one of our riders, Therese, was talking about, she hadn't looked at anything to someone like, Justin, as he's rolling into the garage, he's like looking up his scores. And so we've got the whole gamut. So
for sure.
We have it for all. Excellent. So let's see. So as far as meeting the faces and the people, you've known some of the faces on Discord or online. Maybe a story or an idea. Who surprised you the most of like this person matching this and your idea of who that was?
Yeah. Well, I would say, certainly Justin, to just see, his ability on the bike is, pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So I had a little bit of dialogue with him, Rich.
We'll have to edit this after for Justin's sake.
Yeah. You don't want to say too much. Rich Klepich is who I kind of started riding with the ODZ and that Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Ride 2.5 ride was a really great thing, a couple of years ago when I first started.
Yeah.
Was really surprising though was Doug here, and I won't pronounce his last name, but he was riding that same 2.5 ride with Rich, and I'd seen his name, and get the kudos and high five, and whatever. And it was just yesterday I realized, oh, that's Doug such and such that I used to ride with,
Copperleaf, I think.
Copperleaf, So it's pretty special that way to blend the virtual with the real life. Absolutely.
Yeah, awesome. And then, I guess quick question. Do you ride with Discord audio? Do you do some of that stuff? Like, were you able to kind of hear others talking during your longer rides?
Yeah, I don't, at least not through your group. There's another group that I ride with out of Seattle, and they have a Discord channel, and we do some races and such, and I'll connect with those guys. And
that's cool.
So it actually is it's a nice way to bring in a personal element to the Zwifting, especially most people are probably on their own, their own studio, the cave or the basement or whatever. So you can tie in a little audio with that and just brings it a little bit more.
I think that's great. Great. So I guess talking about the team in ODZ, how did you first come across? Was it that Sunday ride?
It was, It was looking for kind of that caliber of ride. I like the idea of pushing for the longer time frames. And Rich had a really controlled ride, and he had a really good following through that. And then there was a 3.0 ride, that kind of followed a few minutes later, or, whatever, half an hour later. So that's really where that introduction came through.
Yeah, I think one of the things that we have tried to pride ourselves in is if the ride is 2.5, it is 2.5. We've got leaders that respect that. They understand that that's the kind of ride that they're looking for, and we try to give them the tools to be able to provide that for other groups. And even from before the module, before the schedules, like we were just meeting up, rolling around, and picking up people. You've probably ridden around during those times too, but really just trying to do that quality. Like we don't put a lot of rides. We're not like every hour on the hour, like races, but the ones that we do have, I feel like we try to put as much quality out there.
Yeah, pretty purposeful, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we talked about that. So most memorable ODZ moment, virtual moment, or even I guess in real life here, if it was here when you came through.
Yeah, I think I do have to go back to that original 2.5 with Rich, and that doing that on a semi-regular basis. You just get to see some names kind of over and over again, and of course meeting Doug here, at camp and all was pretty cool. But I think that was really what helped me along, and then tying into you guys for sure. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, that's great. I want to thank you for your time today.
Absolutely.
It's been great riding with you today. It's been an awesome couple of days here and just meeting everyone. So just thank you for your time.
Yeah, right on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good.